In 1942, in a frantic wartime lab, a scientist named Harry Coover was trying to build a better gun sight. He stumbled upon a chemical formula, a total, useless failure. It was sticky, annoyingly sticky. It bonded everything it touched instantly. He rejected it and moved on. Thousands of years earlier, a Roman artisan picked up a new tool. 2 bronze blades pivoted on a central pin. It allowed him to cut through leather and papyrus with unprecedented precision. These 2 moments, a failed experiment and an ancient invention, seem completely unrelated, but they represent 2 of the most fundamental actions in human history: the power to divide and the power to unite. This is the story of how we learn to cut things apart and stick them back together. If you want to find the ancestor of your kitchen scissors, you have to go back, way back, around 3,500 years ago in ancient Egypt. But what you'd find wouldn't look quite right. They were called spring scissors. Imagine a pair of bronze blades connected at the handle by a C-shaped spring. You'd squeeze to cut, and the spring would pop the blades back open. Simple, effective, but a little clumsy. You couldn't get a lot of force into them. They were great for shearing sheep or trimming papyrus, but they weren't a precision instrument. Then, around the year 100, the Romans did what they did best. They took a good idea and engineered it into a great one. They took the 2 blades, separated them, and put a pivot in the middle. This wasn't just a small tweak. This was a revolution. By creating a fulcrum, they combined 2 of humanity's oldest simple machines, the lever and the wedge. Each handle became a lever, multiplying the force you applied. Each blade was a razor-sharp wedge, concentrating that force onto a tiny point. The result? A tool that could cut through tough materials with incredible control. This design, the cross-blade, pivoted scissors, was so perfect, so ingeniously simple, that the pair on your desk right now is functionally identical to one used by a Roman scribe 2,000 years ago. Now, here's the part of the story that's a little less exciting but necessary. For the next 1,700 years, not much changed. Scissors remained expensive, handcrafted items. They were status symbols, often ornately decorated and kept by tailors, barbers, and scholars. They existed, but they weren't everywhere. Until the Industrial Revolution. In 1761, a man named Robert Hinchliffe in Sheffield, England, started making scissors out of cast steel. This made them harder, sharper, and most importantly, easier to mass produce. Suddenly, scissors weren't just for specialists anymore. They were for everyone. And we created a specialized pair for everything. Pinking shears with zigzag blades to stop fabric from fraying. Giant shears that can slice through sheet metal. Delicate, precise scissors used by surgeons to save lives. All of them built on that same perfect 2,000-year-old Roman design. But cutting things is only half the story. Just as important is the ability to put them back together, and for that story, we have to go back even further. About 200,000 years ago, on the plains of what is now Italy, a Neanderthal wanted to attach a stone point to a wooden shaft to make a spear. They couldn't use screws, they couldn't weld, so they innovated. They harvested bark from birch trees and heated it in the absence of air. This process, called dry distillation, created a thick, black, waterproof tar. It was humankind's first industrial-strength adhesive. They used it to secure their spearheads, to patch containers, and to waterproof their belongings. Fast forward to the ancient Egyptians. They were masters of animal glues, boiling down skin, bones, and sinew to create powerful adhesives they used to build furniture for the pharaohs. Furniture that is still held together by that same glue thousands of years later in museums today. But the real chaos, the real fun in the story of adhesives happens in the 20th century, and it almost always happens by accident. Let's go back to that scientist, Dr. Harry Coover. It's 1942, he's working for Eastman Kodak, trying to create optically clear plastics for precision gun sights. One of his test formulas, a group of chemicals called cyanoacrylates, was a complete disaster. It wasn't clear, and worse, it stuck to everything. It instantly bonded a pair of expensive lab prisms, ruining them. He shelved the formula, annoyed, and forgot all about it. 9 years later, he's working on a new project, developing a heat-resistant acrylic for jet canopies. A member of his team tests that same annoying formula again, and once again, it bonds everything instantly. But this time, Coover didn't see a failure. He saw the solution to a problem nobody had solved: how to stick things together instantly without heat or pressure. He had invented super glue. It was first sold in 1958, and people were baffled by it. The famous TV ad showed a construction worker glued to a steel beam by his hard hat, hanging high above a city. It was so strong, so fast, it seemed like magic, and it came from a formula that was thrown out twice for being a failure. But that's not even the best story of a failed glue. That honor belongs to this. The year is 1968. At the company 3M, a scientist named Dr. Spencer Silver is trying to do the exact opposite of the superglue guys. He wants to invent an incredibly strong adhesive for the aerospace industry. He fails, miserably. What he creates is a bizarrely weak adhesive. It was made of tiny, indestructible acrylic spheres that would stick to a surface but could be easily lifted off and reused over and over again without losing their stickiness. It was a solution without a problem. Nobody wanted a weak glue. The invention was shelved. For years, Silver championed his weird weak glue within 3M, but nobody listened. Until a colleague, Art Fry, was singing in his church choir. Fry was constantly frustrated. The little paper bookmarks he used to mark the hymns in his book kept falling out. And suddenly, he remembered Spencer Silver's useless invention. A glue that wasn't permanent, a glue that could be stuck down and peeled off without damaging the paper. He put a little of the weak adhesive on his bookmarks. It worked perfectly. The post-it note was born from a failed superglue and an annoyed church singer. We live in a world of cutting and sticking. Think about it. The cardboard box your last package came in, cut from a flat sheet, folded and held together by industrial adhesives. The clothes you're wearing, the fabric was cut from a pattern with shears. The phone or computer you're watching this on, its internal components are held in place by specialized high-tech adhesives, replacing screws and solder. From the simple joy of wrapping a gift to the life-saving precision of a surgeon's scalpel and shears, it all comes back to these two fundamental ideas. The Roman engineer who perfected the pivot, and the wartime scientist who stumbled upon a sticky mess. They created a legacy that is so profound, so woven into the fabric of our lives that most of the time we don't even see it. They gave us the power to shape our world, the power to break it down into its constituent parts, and the magic of putting them back together again. The desk in front of you is probably home to at least one pair of scissors and some kind of tape or sticky notes. Thousands of years of accidental discoveries and engineering genius all sitting right there. What other invisible invention is in that desk drawer with them? Let us know your best one in the comments below.